the sort of tough message. What he essentially means is that the pain will be worth the gain. But of course, he does risk raising tensions with, at the very least, business leaders, who some of them are saying that they're facing a 70s-style economic crisis with worker shortages, which has led to the fuel shortage. We've got skyrocketing energy prices, food prices, of course, going through the roof too. Now, Boris Johnson is going around at this conference in other interviews saying, you know, I can't control gas prices, essentially. But the accumulative effect of all of those different problems is certainly going to lead to something that's very uncomfortable for most people, and for some, as we've just heard there in Nick's report, some very painful few months ahead. And that's the point that Robert Peston put to the Prime Minister. Well, he said that we're not going to go back to what he says is the old broken model of low wages and low skill. This is in today's speech here at conference. He will trumpet the fact that he will say the Conservatives have got Brexit done, we got the vaccines done. He'll say that we got social care done, or we're going to get social care done. But I have to say there is a real sceptical tone coming from many quarters to his promises, not least from the British Chamber of Commerce. Well, Carrie Johnson, his wife, was out giving a speech last night to rapturous applause here. And of course, today, Boris Johnson, no doubt, will go down a storm in the conference hall. But of course, that's not the issue for Boris Johnson. Of course, he's going to be applauded here, but it's exactly how his promises will get delivered. And delivering on those promises is what the people in the country really need.
OK, Ranvir, thanks very much.
Going to come out with a rather sort of tough message, a sort of jagged pill to swallow, which essentially will be that the pain will be eventually worth the gain. But he is on a real collision course, isn't he, with business leaders at the very least, many of whom are saying that they're currently facing something like a 70s-style economic crisis. They've got the worker shortage, which has triggered the fuel shortage, which is also at the same time we've got the energy crisis with the prices skyrocketing, and of course food prices, as we've been hearing, going through the roof. And that accumulative effect of all of it, although Boris Johnson is insisting things like gas prices aren't in his direct control, but the accumulative compound effect of all of those problems means that, as we've heard, it's going to be a very, very painful few months for millions of families. And even though there is a suggestion that he may increase the national living wage to something like £9.42 an hour from the current £8.91 that's being reported in the Times today, of course, that certainly, it won't come into effect straight away, and it won't ease the problems for people today. And here's Robert Peston putting those points to the Prime Minister. And in today's speech, he will trumpet the fact that the Conservatives got Brexit done, that they got the vaccines done. He'll promise that they will get social care done. Of course, that is another issue on the horizon, with an increase in national taxes for that, national income taxes. Now, look, he's also going to say we're not going to go back to what he will describe as the old broken model of low wages and low skill. But there is a lot of scepticism out there about whether this will ever actually be delivered. Here's the British Chamber of Commerce. The last time Boris Johnson took to centre stage at party conference was just after he'd been elected in 2019. Of course, we hadn't actually left the European Union at that point. He was, you know, rapturously sort of received then. He will be again today. He's in a massive hall. It will be packed out. There will be queues around the block waiting for people, activists wanting to get in. But the truth is, when he leaves this conference, when outside in the real world, when he faces people again, actually their pain and their difficulties is what he's going to have to tackle.
OK, Ranvir, thanks very much.
The Prime Minister will trumpet the fact that the Conservatives got Brexit done, they got the vaccines done, and he will say there is no going back now to what he'll describe as the old broken model of low wages and low skill. But he's certainly on a collision course with business leaders who say they're facing a 70s-style economic crisis, and millions of ordinary families for whom the cost of living is reaching a painful threshold.